my studio. I hope you're well. For those of you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you'll know that I haven't been painting on canvas for a while because I've been spending the time in the studio sorting through things and getting some tasks done that I've wanted to for some time. The main change is having painted the floor white, which was to help bounce some light around in the studio. The back end of the studio can be quite dark, so that was the plan, and it's worked really well. So for today's YouTube video, I thought I would give you a bit of a tour. It might be helpful to see how I've laid things out and how a functioning studio looks. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the first area I'd like to show you is this lovely big table area that I have. It's great that I can lay all of my gear out. It's a lovely big area to work on. It's positioned here because I have a north, it's just out of shot, but a north facing window and an east facing window. The east window is particularly important because it will let light in without being a direct beam of light. So that's much more suitable. In an ideal world, I would have windows on the south of this studio, but the south border is very close to my neighbour's property. So for privacy, I'm not able to have south facing, so the next best is to have the east. This is where you've seen me shoot the small canvases, so any flat work is done here. And I'll bring you a little closer and explain a bit about what's actually on this table. So obviously all the paints are laid out here. I find it useful to have them all there so I can easily see what I've got in my repertoire. Obviously within easy reach. There's a few other tools and things here, all the paint brushes. This area here is generally where I have the tripod set up for filming. Got to have music going in the studio, my lovely little J-clip. A couple of dishes of water. Lots and lots of paper towel and rags. And this is the palette that I use, which is an old glass chopping board. I've just painted the black white so I can get a good idea of the colours when I'm mixing colour. Okay, on to the next area. The studio chair and fireside. It's great to have a chair in the studio, a nice comfy chair when you're in the process of painting. You can take a step back, sit and contemplate, see what's working and what perhaps needs improving or changing in a piece. It's also really great for a morning cuppa in the winter time here in Victoria. This Ned Kelly they're made in Daylesford, and they're a great heater. It heats this space, which is 6 metres by 6 metres. Heats the space really well. The ceiling's insulated, the walls are not, so it can get very cold. It's particularly handy when I'm working with art resin that prefers a warmer working temperature. It's great to be able to heat the space up, and it's comfy for me. Okay, on to next. Okay, this is another table, not as big, obviously. I've got it covered in plastic because this is where I generally set my things up for the teacup series when I'm doing resin work, because the resin won't stick to the plastic, so it's a very easy clean up. Have a east facing window again. On to the next space. Welcome to my gallery wall. This is where I display work when I'm having the studio open during certain festivals. I have some gallery lighting set up and a hanging system which allows me to easily hang the work and give it its best show. The other thing sitting in this area are these easels. What's great about these, as you can see, is how easily they move around. And at the moment I've got some of my current series. I tend to work in series, and it helps to have the group of work out on display so I can reference those, so I have a good consistency across the series. Okay, on to the next space. The storage area. My studio is relatively small in studio terms, so I have everything all in this one storage area, but I do have it grouped in like for like, and that's really important to do in a well organised studio. So this first shelving here are reference books, reference promotional material, postcards, all those sorts of things. And then this gets more into the art material side, and basically I have the more used items on the more accessible top shelves and the less used items on the very bottom there. And then within these pigeonholes I have like for like, as I said, so all the tools are together, all the tapes are together, papers are together, etc. Okay, on to the next spot. I'm potentially going to be a little bit backlit here, but this is where I store all of the completed work. It is really just a bookshelf turned upside down to help give spaces, so canvases don't lean. Obviously they will dint or mark each other, so you need to store them well. So I've got completed work, some canvases ready to be painted on, and my signage that I have out during the open studios. And this is a north facing window, so it gets plenty of sun. So I've painted the top of this white because it's great to display some of the smaller petri dish resin type things that I make. You get a lovely sunlight through those and it displays them really, really well. One last spot. And the last spot is all of this space. This is what you've seen if you've again followed me on Instagram, what I've been busily painting. But let's pan up and I'll show you what I use it for. So this gorgeous big space allows me to lay anything out on the floor, to view things all in a group easily, paint on, or to bring out the big gun easel that was made by my studio assistant, Lovey Ray. Lovely work. It was made a long, long time ago. It's lovely and sturdy, and it's very simple in its construction and use. A couple of wing nuts there to adjust the height of the rest, and yeah, it's just wonderful. Thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for watching. I hope it's been informative and fun to spend some time with me in the studio. If you're new here, please think about subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know how you found it in the comments. See you next time. Bye.